I'm Ryan with It's a Wildlife, and I'm hunting one of the smartest animals I've ever hunted. Axis deer are native to India and are used to being hunted by tigers, so they are on full alert 100% of the time. They have excellent eyesight and sense of smell, so I know this is going to be an incredible challenge with a bow, which should make for an interesting video. We're going to start off trying to spot and stalk this animal. We've got a big storm rolling in here in about 45 minutes to an hour, which is good because that means a lot of wind. So I might be able to get away with some movement. You might think I look like an idiot, but that's because these axis deer are smarter than any animal I've ever hunted. It's like trying to hunt a human. The spot and stalking isn't working. We're gonna have to come up with another game plan. There's just way too many animals in here and it's too thick. I don't know if you can see that ground blind right behind me, but this is a spot that I've actually been baiting for about 4 or 5 months. I've been baiting it nonstop. We've stayed out of here, only come in here just to put out bait and feed. And I'm after a big axis buck. Let me tell you, axis are the smartest deer in the world. They have a better nose than a whitetail. They have the eyes of a turkey. They're almost impossible to hunt, especially with a bow. You see very few bow hunts for axis deer. I've hunted this place, I don't know, probably 400 or 500 times, and I've yet to come within bow range of a shooter axis. Axis deer also happen to be some of the best meat on the planet. I mean, they're like the best venison in the world. I've got some mesh, so I'm actually gonna try to brush in this blind as good as I can. Everything's gonna have to be perfect. I gotta brush this blind in because they will see any type of movement. I'm gonna start hunting them this evening. Everything's perfect, beautiful day, wind is perfect, so all we can do is try. Doing everything I can to be absolutely as scent-free as possible. Anybody that's ever hunted axis deer, you know they're keen. So I've got scent-free deodorant, scent-free body wash. I brushed my teeth, my tongue, everything. Anything that you could think of that might produce any kind of odor whatsoever. That's what I use. It works. We're in the blind. I'm gonna go ahead and get totally blacked out, and then we can't move. Gotta get into ninja mode here. Grim Reaper, 1 3/4 razor tip, bass broadhead on the market. You hear that? That means my gig is up. That's axis deer barking at me. And they're barking completely upwind. So, I don't know. It's like they can sense that I'm here. It's crazy. This was definitely the axis spot. We had a couple does, several different young bucks, but big boy never showed up. So several nights of sitting in that blind, and he was coming in there pretty much every evening. And I sat 3 times and no sign of him. He did come to another feeder well after dark on the other side of the property. So I'm thinking maybe he circled around, got downwind of me, knew I was there, and just never made himself known. So it's been a few weeks, and just to catch y'all up and kind of fast forward, I've tried a few different things. Last night I was sitting in the blind and I finally saw him. He cruised by at about 50 yards. And just looked over, and it was like he knew something wasn't right. He just cruised by, never even came to the feeder. I've been hunting in my tree saddle in a different spot, didn't see him. But of course, every time I sat there, he came to the original feeder where the blind was. I'm gonna do everything I can possibly think of. I'm gonna put my phone in airplane mode. I'm gonna be as scent free as possible. I'm even gonna take a smoke bath. That's something Native Americans used to do. And basically the carbon of the smoke helps to kill and block human scent molecules. I'm trying everything I can to outsmart this axis deer. The general idea here is to not catch yourself on fire. So I'm gonna take my climber, I'm gonna climb as high in this pine tree as I possibly can, try to get above his level of vision, above his level of scent stream, see if he'll come in. I'm way up here, probably at least close to 40 feet up. I can see everything from up here. I've got the ground blind, that's where I've been setting every time. The axes seem to know, at least the mature bucks, they seem to know when I'm in that ground blind. I think they circle around downwind and they can, you're not gonna beat their nose. Should be able to see some deer, that's for sure. I can see everything from up here. Excited about this evening. Shaking like crazy. I've got a lot of mixed emotions because I didn't get a lot of penetration. But he was quartering away at 19 yards. Oh God. I'm gonna review the footage before I get excited because I did not get a lot of penetration. I don't know why. But I mean, everything felt perfect. I took my time. Like cracking branches. Maybe he's going down. Please, God. Very few animals get me shaken up like that one. I was doing the math. I've spent accumulatively over 50 hours hunting this animal for about the past month. And I got an arrow in him. I'm going to review the footage right now. We'll circle back to you. Alright, I reviewed the footage and it's not good. I hit him high. He ducked and turned so fast. I hit him high and a little bit forward, kind of high in the shoulder. And that's why I didn't get a lot of penetration. Not good. I definitely think it's a fatal shot, but I don't think we're going to find a lot of blood. And I mean, the only thing I can do is back out and give him time, unfortunately. Not the shot that I wanted, that's for sure. Alright, we've got blood. It's not great blood, but it's decent. We're gonna back out and give it a few hours. So we blood trailed him about 150 yards from the hit site, and then we went ahead and backed out. The blood started getting kind of less and less, but then it kind of started picking back up a little bit. But we're going to dinner, taking my sweet Valentine to her favorite Mexican restaurant here in town, and gonna eat dinner, give him time, and then come back and pick it up where we left off. I mean, decent penetration. Definitely hit him a little bit high and a little bit forward, but it's not horrible. We don't need a lot of penetration. We just need enough penetration. All right, so we're covering as much ground as we possibly can, and I'm using the thermal optics just to see if maybe he's bedded up somewhere. Try to see if we can find him. That's all we can do. Look at the size of this possum. Sucker is huge. Look at the teeth. I'll go ahead and let him go. You are a huge possum. Here, buddy. All right, guys, it's 3:07 a.m. And I've looked as hard as I possibly can. Not crying, just had something in my throat. I feel like crying. I feel like I'm literally nauseous, but I've watched the shot video about 100 times. If you look at this red X, that's where I aimed, and look how much that axis buck ducked at 19 yards that quickly. We'll look again tomorrow. It's not looking great, guys. He didn't move, guys. He didn't even move. He's done right there. Oh, God, I need a minute. I'm in disbelief. If you guys knew how, number one, how many hours I've put trying to hunt this animal, and then how many hours just in the past 2 days we've spent looking for him. And then here he is 40 yards off the road. As you can see, I could barely, that's the window I had to shoot through. I would never have been able to get an arrow through that. I could barely get a bullet through. This is all these thick little trees in here, but let's go get hands on him. It's so surreal. Wow. Yep. Dad, I've been waiting on this moment for a long time. I got hands on him. Man, you have been a challenge. You can see he's rubbing his velvet off. I did see this in some recent pictures. He's starting to rub that velvet off, especially on this side. How about that, guys? This is where he was laying. He didn't move a step when I shot. He literally just rolled over. What a beautiful animal. Wish I could have got him, you know, finished him with the bow. And man, this guy right here, it's bittersweet, but I'm actually relieved to be able to close this chapter in my life because it's taken up all my time. The past 5 weeks, I've spent over 50 hours in the blind or in the stand hunting this animal. So instead of punching through the shoulder blade, like straight through, basically when he turned, it was hitting it at an angle, going through the more mass of the shoulder blade, and it just slammed that arrow on brakes. I'm gonna spend some time with this animal because I've already spent some time after this animal. So I'm gonna spend some time with him and just absorb as much of this as possible. Like I said, I have more respect for this animal than maybe any other animal I've ever hunted. It's all about trying to outsmart animals that God designed not to let you outsmart. God, he's absolutely covered in ticks. Imagine what that must feel like to have that many ticks that you can't get off you. Florida's rough.
Daddy.
Do you want to try to eat him for dinner? Eat some meat?
No.
No?
My lollipop is my favorite.
Oh, lollipop is your favorite? Okay, you can have that instead.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine.
You
That's
got
fine.
my boo-boo.
I'm telling you, if you put the lollipop next to the Axis, dear, you might pick Axis. Axis might be better than the lollipop.
I'll just stop.
So this is Axis steer. This is the back strap. This is the tenderloin. That's the spine. Basically a little T-bone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of the next videos. Thanks for joining us, and remember, it's a wild life.